Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Taurus August 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome so that you can better engage with your unique spirit, that part of ourselves that rises up to meet the occasion when we're challenged. And this is so that you can better unlock those beautiful heroic capabilities that lie within, so that you can better understand your path, your purpose, and to get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment that come when we understand where we fit in the greater collective experience. So hi and welcome everyone. I apologize. I have been a little sick for the past few days, so my voice is a little but I am excited to get back in here and do everybody's reading. So I'm going to start off first, Taurus, by pulling some cards for your internal energy. We'll take a look at what's going on external to you, and then we'll jump into the reading and take a look at the blocks and the challenges and some advice to help you move through them. So Taurus, we have Knight of Pentacles and we have Six of Cups. That's actually a very interesting. I'm going to take this and not all of these. That's quite a bit to take there. We have Nine of Cups in your external environment. Beautiful. And then on the bottom, okay, Ten of Pentacles with the Emperor and the Three of Wands underneath. Okay, so Taurus, Nine of Pentacles and Six of Cups. This is getting back in touch with a gift from your past, meaning something that when you think back to your kind of more original innocent self, you have an emotional tie to something that uniquely makes you you. And you're reconnecting with that dream, that talent, or even just idea that you had for yourself that when you think back, you connect to. And with the Knight of Pentacles, this is a beautiful, slow moving, carefully planned, kind of action oriented energy. So for some of you, this is a month of getting back in touch with a vision for yourself. A vision for yourself, though, that really resonates on a true kind of emotional level. Now, with the Nine of Cups in your external environment, that's a card really of wish fulfillment, meaning it's a card of having a lot to be thankful for and grateful for already in your emotional experience. But it's one where we get to make that wish, that final wish to move us from the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Cups, one where we get really to experience what I like to say is us touching our version of heaven on earth. And this is coupled beautifully with the Ten of Pentacles coming in here, which the Ten of Pentacles is really that kind of lasting legacy card. What do we want to build for ourselves in the physical that really represents who we are? And with the Emperor and the Three of Wands coming in, the Emperor is when we get to that point of really kind of stepping into the seat of authority in our own experience. It's the reminder that we are each the emperor to our own individual empire. And yes, we do share empires, meaning our empire can overlap with our significant other's empire. Or when we think of every single individual living on this earth, we are all basically the center of our own individual universe. And so we have to understand that we have to be authoritative in stepping into the role of living our own life, our life specifically on an autonomous level, but also understanding too how that can affect other people living their lives as well, especially those closest to us, family members and friends and coworkers and so on. So there's something here around getting into that kind of authoritative energy within your own life. And with the Three of Wands here, there's a feeling of kind of waiting for your ships to come in. It's having taken action on some level, and now it's waiting to see what's come back from the action that's been taken. And with the 10 of Pentacles, there's this element of understanding, of taking what comes in and really with an eye to building this lasting foundation. So really what you're learning about yourself, I think this month, which is kind of an interesting element, what I'm picking up intuitively out of this is rolling with the punches. Sometimes as a fixed sign, and I understand this, Taurus, because, and actually, I'm going to turn around my little candle here. Since this is our Taurus reading, I have my Taurus candle. I am a Taurus sun sign. I also have Taurus in my Mars placement. So I work a lot with the energy of Taurus. And there is this feeling sometimes that we can, because we are fixed earth, we are very steady, very stable, but we can also get very set in our ways. And sometimes that can be difficult when we maybe are a little too much the emperor, meaning that we like to say it's our way or it's our way or no way. And the Three of Wands, normally I would say sometimes that can get to be where we're stuck waiting for something to come. But this can also be too where we are almost not willing to just take what comes in and kind of roll with it. This is where we're so waiting, I'm the emperor and I'm expecting this to come in the way that I want, that we may actually end up missing out on something else that is still based on the action we've taken, but coming in a different form, in a different package for us. So there's an element here this month about being very clear on an emotional level, on an internal level, what you want to build towards, what you want to take the steps towards bringing from the past into your current experience, and being able to make a wish for that to happen on a deep heart-centered level, to say, this is what I really want to bring forward into my current experience. But there's also the big lesson learned here, the big challenge is, can you roll with the punches, Taurus? Can you be a little more flexible in understanding that as the emperor to your empire, this would almost be like if as the emperor you had, taken action towards, let's say, putting out a supply order for lumber because you want to build some new structure within your empire. And so you're waiting and you're keeping your eye out for the ship that's bringing in the lumber that you've put the order in for. But suddenly there's another ship that comes in, and instead of carrying lumber, it's a ship filled with bricks. And these bricks are equally as good at building structures. In fact, maybe even more so. Maybe they are more weather resistant. Maybe they have a more insulative quality. And you're not looking at the ship coming in with brick because you're so focused on I placed the order for my lumber, where's my lumber? And meanwhile, that building you've promised everybody in your kingdom to have been built is still sitting without the ground having been broken, and there's no structure. So there's a little bit of that feeling of putting that wish out there, coming from a place of connecting on an emotional level to something from your past that you want to bring forward, but letting it come in as spirit would like to come in, and allowing yourself to really step into a place of faith, Taurus. That is when we have Taurus in one of our major placements in our birth chart, we are, for the majority of our life experience, on the journey of faith, we are on a spiritual journey of how steady can we be holding our faith to understanding the outcome will come to be as long as we are slow and methodical. And with the Knight of Pentacles, this is that beautiful energy of the slow, methodical individual. So it's going to be a very interesting month, I think, in what can come in if you allow yourself to really get clear on what you want to build, what you want to bring forward, what are you making this wish for, and then keeping your eyes open as to how it might come in a slightly different form, in a slightly different package that's going to be better suited to the Ten of Pentacles that you actually want to bring forward here on this earth, meaning the legacy that you want to leave behind. Okay, so now I'm going to pull some cards here. We're going to take a look at what is the block that you're facing this month? What is the challenge really that Spirit is asking you to push through, to really see something about yourself? And I think more than anything, not only to see something about yourself, but this month to really see what's coming in your external environment. Ooh, I love it. We have the Lovers. Okay, so that's your main challenge position there. And the Lovers card in the tarot can speak to many different things. Yes, it can speak to who we love. It can speak to what we love. It can also speak to making a choice in love. So let's see. Okay, yes. And we have the Nine of Swords. Yeah. So there's a worry. There's worry around choosing what you love, moving forward, whether this is choosing the love of a career goal, whether, so many cards wanted to come out, whether this is choosing the love of an individual. But there's something here around worry that is coming with following what you love. Now we have the Five of Wands at the heart of your reading, which is what Spirit's asking you to really embrace to help you overcome this challenge. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I thought that might come up somewhere here. Okay, so, and then we have Judgment and Two of Pentacles. All right, so this is a heavy-hitting month, Taurus. And, you know, for those of you who follow kind of the planetary movements and are really into astrology, Taurus is very much being affected right now with what's going on in the sky, so to speak. So there's a lot of alignments going on between Uranus and Mars and Venus coming in there as well, and all in alignment with the North Node. And all of these are in the sign of Taurus, with the exception of, actually, no, Mars is as well. So there's a lot of, especially if you have anything in alignment with 18 degrees of Taurus somewhere in there, you're going to really, really feel the energy this month, especially right now, for those of you who are watching this in real time. So it's one of those things where we're, as a Taurian, we are being pushed, especially with Uranus coming in there, we're really being pushed to think outside the box, to use our steady, stable ability to kind of, carry the workload and move forward one step at a time, but doing it in a way that breaks the mold, that helps to really kind of shake things up so that in the years to come from this point, we are helping to kind of almost till the earth to allow for new seeds on what I feel truly is a spiritual level to be planted. That we're kind of entering a new era for humanity in general. And as a Taurus, we are here to really start to kind of pull everybody in a slightly different direction. And that's going to be individual to each one of us. We're each going to feel the pull to do something a little different and to break the mold within our own lives in a slightly different way. That's going to be unique to us. And for some of us, where we're feeling pulled to could be, really dramatic. It might shake up our lives. And I think for some of you, that's what I'm really seeing here. There's a lot of fear and worry over choosing what you love. Now, the Lovers is a card that can speak to, having to make that choice. But sometimes, we feel it's a choice. Yeah, can I go towards that or not? And in reality, it's not really a choice. You already know what you love. You already know what you want to do. And your life will be very difficult if you don't follow your heart. With the Five of Wands coming in here, this is actually a card that can be a card that can bring forward some kind of chaotic energy, but it's also one of healthy competition. And I really feel that that's what Spirit's asking you to embrace this month, is that element of getting back out there and working with some aspect of yourself. Getting back out there and using whatever comes in for you this month to really kind of jump into the fray. This would be like if a ship of bricks come in and you're like, but I don't actually have a bricklayer contracted and I don't know how to build with brick. I know how to build with lumber. And this is saying, well, it's time to get back out there and see what to do with that brick. That this would be like sitting there and saying, well, okay, I don't know when the lumber is going to come in. I'm going to work with the brick. And in working with the brick, I'm going to put something out there, an ad that says, hey, is there a bricklayer out there who wants to come and teach me how to work with brick? Is there somebody who actually can, redo the plan that I had already created and help me now move it from being lumber-based to being brick-based? And it's going out there to see, what can I do with what's come in for myself? Because on the other side of that, if you can really embrace that energy of like, I'm just going to jump in and do it. I'm going to accept the hand I've been dealt, what's come in for me. I'm going to understand that it's something to do with what I love. I wanted to build this building, this structure in my empire so that everybody would have a place to congregate and share some aspect of something that I really wanted this community to focus on. And I'm going to just see how I can make it work, how I can bring this to be. I'm not going to get stuck in the worries. I'm instead going to focus on the energy of doing. That's really where I'm feeling with the Five of Wands here. This is the energy of I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get my hands dirty. And then we have Judgment and then Two of Pentacles. And Judgment is the card where we have heard the call. We are now being called up to be a different version of ourselves. We are going through a spiritual growth process. And in order for us to really step up into that, that's where we have to face the Two of Pentacles. This is us getting stuck in the day-to-day juggling of tasks. And the Two of Pentacles is very similar to kind of a lower arcana energetic energy version of the Lovers, in that it also denotes having to make a choice, having to take a look at what you're doing day to day and to say, if I'm looking at what I want to build, something to an eye of my past self, what I always wanted to experience based on what I love, what I'm passionate about. How now can I start to make that choice between what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis and start to prioritize one step at a time, one task at a time, one decision at a time? How can I start to put my energy towards what I want to build? When we think about building the Ten of Pentacles, it's going to be very difficult to build the Ten of Pentacles if we're juggling two continually. We're actually never building, we're just juggling at that point. Now, if we were to stop and look at those two pentacles and say, if it's between me having to do another load of laundry or me taking this time to sit down and dedicate towards taking this class that's going to help me level up in a skill set that's going to allow me to have that job I always wanted to work in, then the laundry today is going to have to wait until tomorrow morning when I can get it done, or when I need to ask my significant other to help me with that, or when maybe I have to sit down and talk to my significant other and say, maybe it's time for us to get a once every 2 week housekeeper to come in so that the time I would have normally dedicated to this, I can now allocate to this. And it's going to allow me to build it bigger, faster, and with an eye to doing it right. So there's something here about really, though, leaning into the wish for yourself. What is that wish you want, that heart-based wish that you want for yourself, based on this connection back to some aspect of, I would say, your childhood, or to an original part of yourself, that part of yourself that when you were just a child left alone to daydream. What is that feeling that you're connecting to? What is that part of yourself you want to bring forward? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. I'm going to see what's going on with the Lovers. So, what does Taurus need to know about the Lovers? Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, yeah, it means that you're going to have to walk away from something. And that can be hard. The Eight of Cups is actually a beautiful energy because it's one where the Eight of Cups leads to the Nine of Cups. It's where you're walking away from something you've poured a lot of your emotional investment into, but you're realizing that it no longer provides you with emotional fulfillment. This can be where we have to walk away from a long time marriage, or from a career path we were so focused on, or even a hobby or something along those lines that we had put so much time and energy and emotional energy into. And then we're looking at it now going, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I thought getting the house in the suburbs was going to make me feel great, but I'm realizing now it doesn't have anything to do with what I truly love. And then we have the 6 of coins and the 4 of coins. Interesting. So 4 of coins is when we're kind of holding ourselves back. We don't want to invest. We have just enough, and so we're going to cling to it. And the 6 of coins is a reminder that there's always balance. There's always going to be time when we have to give and time when we have to receive. And it's a statement that there is actually more than enough currently, that you have kind of gone one step past the poverty threshold, and you now are sitting in a pretty balanced place on a tangible level. So you have either enough energy or you have enough resources, in some, tangible way. It may not be more than enough, but it is enough to allow yourself to invest a little more. There's an element here of kind of wanting to hold back, that there's this feeling of, well, I have 4 coins, when in reality you have the 6 coins. So there's 2 coins in here, which I think is interesting. It's the 2 of Pentacles that's over here. That's holding you back from seeing, I think, the resource that you have somewhere that you're tying up and just being too focused on juggling. That you have this eye of, well, I have just this much, but yet every day you're juggling a lot more. Every day you're picking up those 2 extra pentacles that can take you from the 4 to the 6, and yet you're not really utilizing them in a way with an eye towards investing them towards what you really want to build. Instead, they're kind of just getting lost in the shuffle to where you don't even realize that you have something to invest. I hope that makes sense. But there is something here that you're going to have to walk away from something, and something you've invested time and energy in. Okay, for the 9 of Swords, we have the 3 of Wands. Yeah, there's something around the worry of what's coming in. So we have the 3 of Wands again. There's something around that what has come in for you is not exactly what you had envisioned. Now, this can be, for instance, that maybe, I notice with my own life, I'm going to give you an example, that sometimes when we are so focused on one aspect of our life, another side to our life actually blooms, or we get the opportunities in the other area of our life where we weren't focused. So for me, for many years, I focused on my career path and trying to find a job that fit me or that unlocked something uniquely about myself. And as I was so focused there and nothing was really happening, the personal side to my life, the romantic side to my life bloomed. The family side to my life bloomed. Everything on that level kind of came in. And so even though I was putting energy towards one aspect, which was more of my work and my career focus, what was coming in for me was actually fulfilling the other side to my experience. And now I could have totally turned my eye to that and been like, well, I don't want a significant other right now. I'm focused on my career path, or I don't want to move, across the country right now because I'm focused on building something here. It's one of those things where that's where I had to learn to really be flexible and to roll with the punches, to really understand that what comes, that maybe it's not the exact result we had anticipated based on the actions we took, but what came in is actually more in alignment with fulfilling the long-term vision that we have for ourselves, that starts with the seed of emotional connection. So there's something here around, I think, being worried that what has come in is not exactly what you wanted. But with the 5 of Wands, I love this. That's where the Ace of Pentacles shows up. If you can just go and take what's been given to you. So for instance, let's say you were so focused on having a business take off, but all of a sudden on the other side of your life, again, met the romantic partner that was there to support you, who's now the love of your life. Maybe you've had 2 children since then, and suddenly you're living in another location, a location that, maybe took you so far outside of where you had originally wanted to build your business. But now you're realizing, well, wait a second, maybe it's not this business that I need to continue. Maybe it's looking at jumping into building another business based off of something that now is being triggered when I take a look at where I'm living and what I love. And maybe I was so focused on one thing because I was just blindly following what society told me, what my family told me to do. And when I get in touch with what I actually really love, I realize, maybe if I walk away from that, I can actually kind of jump into joining the community to where I live now. I was gifted with this home and these 2 kids and this whole experience. And maybe this is the opportunity. Maybe there's a new business venture that's going to be more in alignment with where I am currently, because that's what I'm working with. Those are my 2 pentacles. That is my actual tangible excess that I can invest now in something new. And then that's where the ace comes from, because that means you've made your choice. So there's something around that. I mean, it could even be for you that maybe, I've seen this the opposite, where people follow love interest, across the country or to someplace new, and that romantic interest doesn't, pan out, but the job opportunity that they got in that new location suddenly opens doors to a whole nother level of wealth generation or a career path they never thought that they would follow. And it's about, okay, I'm just going to lean into that. Instead of trying to focus on, finding the next person to be with or finding a way to move back to where I just came from, I'm just going to focus on excelling at this job that just kind of landed in my lap. And then that's where the new opportunity, the fresh start comes from. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see what's going on for judgment. What does Taurus need to know about judgment here? Okay, we have Queen of Swords. That's the story that you want to tell about yourself. Ooh, and the Queen of Wands. Ooh, okay. Wow, so there we go. So there's something around understanding how far you've come, what you're capable of. That's really what the Queen of Swords speaks to. It's also one who shares her story from an empowered place. And then the Queen of Wands is someone who understands how to work magic. She can grow flowers in the desert because she knows that no matter where she is, she always possesses her magic. And so she can grow what she wants where she wants it. And for some of you, that's the realization of, you know what? I'm going to just take what's come in and I'm going to start building today, now. And then we have the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands. I like that for the Two of Pentacles. There's an element of getting very clear on an emotional level. There's an emotional maturity that's coming through, but also this feeling of wanting to go out there and seek the truth, of wanting to go out there and do what feels good. There's the element of with the Knight of Pentacles. This is very slow moving, methodical, well thought out. And the Knight of Wands is, let's go out there and do what's fun. Let's go out there and work with our passions. The Queen of Wands, that's what she does. She uses her passion as magic to grow what she wants no matter where she is. And with the King of Cups, this is stepping into that place of being a spiritual advisor. It's getting very clear on, what role your emotions play in your life and how and where you can then utilize your emotional stability to kind of be the stabilizing factor for how what you choose to follow from this point, where you choose to take action, and can you bring an element of fun from that? It's almost like saying it's time to choose what feels like fun, what allows you to step up into a place of passion. But it has to also come with emotional stability. It can't come from this kind of volatility of I'm up, I'm down, I'm over here. It's realizing, no, this is just what I love. This is me connecting back with who I am. And I'm going to be quietly confident in that. And I'm going to go out and seek to act from that place. And that's what's going to allow you to connect with this dream that you have for yourself. I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to pull 3 additional cards here. One for the concept of curiosity, one for courage, and one for contemplation. And these are additional points of advice from Spirit to kind of just help you keep the flow of energy open so that you can really move through this block, I think, of kind of following what you love, but following what you love in a way that takes into account what is here now. There is something about having to kind of release, I think, something that, again, you've put a lot of time and energy towards, and it's time to say, it didn't work out. And at this point, it's not bringing you fulfillment. So now it's time to work with what you have. Not turning your back on what you love. Instead, making the decision based off of what you love and starting to really get your whole life in alignment with that. Okay. So let's see here. What does Taurus need to know about where to stay curious, open, and optimistic to this month? What does Taurus need to know about curiosity? Okay, we have the Healer of the Ages. I really like this card coming out here. It's number 51, breaking down to a number 6, which is the energy of love. It's the energy of building something with others with a kind of a spiritual common goal. And I love that there's this feeling of Healer of the Ages. That it's almost like at this point, we each get to step up into that place of wholeness that we can feel when we have truly kind of healed that part of ourselves that keeps us separate from ourselves, if that makes sense. That part of ourselves where, I always like to use the saying because it resonates with me a lot. It's that saying of, kind of no matter where you are, there you are. And it's that reminder of it doesn't matter the location. You can move all over the world, but you can't run from yourself. You always are there. But there's also this point where sometimes we lose sight of who we are, of what we uniquely bring to the situation. Whether it's our strong work ethic, whether it's our eye for beauty, whether it's our, extreme imagination, or it's our love and support that we give to others. But there's something that's unique within each one of us. It starts here. It's that gift that when we integrate that into our life, no matter where we are, and we stop kind of always having this eye towards our external environment or other people needing to fill that kind of coming into union with ourselves, that when we actually just integrate who we are and what we want and what resonates on an emotional level with our whole life experience, that's where we come into this feeling of wholeness and true spiritual health. And that Healer of the Ages, I love that it really shows that if you can be curious as to what part of yourself you've been kind of not really accepting or not allowing to just be expressed, be integrated into your life, and to really allow you to use that as the compass as to, well, what do you love? What do you want to build? What are you willing to kind of fight for and show off your skill set for? And that's what's going to bring you into a place of true healed connection with yourself. And that's going to give you the eye towards kind of, I think, realigning your life to what has changed. Queen of Wands. What are you going to build now? The Queen of Wands would look at those bricks and she'd be like, well, heck yeah. I'm just going to wave my magic wand, my passion for that beautiful community center I want, and it's just going to happen. I don't care what it's built out of. I'm just thankful that something came in and bippity boppity boop, here we go. So there's something about that to be said, Taurus. It's about taking what you have and using the magic of what you know you're capable of, because that's what comes in with the Queen of Swords as well, and being able to do your own little bippity boppity boop. And I love what's come out here. Okay, so we have 4 cards that came out. 4 courage, if I can get it here. Sorry, guys. I'm going to the table. I'll read them all. So I like here, one of the ones that stood out right off the bat is surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. And I love that. Again, we don't want to turn our eye to the bricks that are coming in if they're what we're meant to actually utilize to build that dream, that community center. It says surrender to your intuition. It says tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. I love that. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. It says listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. And then surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So there's a lot of, obviously surrendering, because these are all cards of surrender. But there's a lot of really just kind of leaning into what you know you want, leaning into the vision for yourself that you really want to have happen, but surrendering your attachment to results and understanding that it all really comes down to the path that you're on. And it may come in a different way, but what you're feeling drawn towards, that is what you're meant to focus on. That's what you're meant to engage with. That's what you're meant to kind of keep plotting towards, but allow yourself to be open enough to making it happen in a slightly different way. That's the courage there. The courage to not, to have control, but understand we can never control truly our external environment and what comes in. We can only control our reaction to that. And so for your final card here, we have Pleiades, double mission, channeling, and uplifting humanity. So this is your final point of contemplation. It's what Spirit would like you to reflect on for the month. And I know when we think about double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity, that is a beautiful, thing to, a beautiful point to contemplate on, that we, in following what we feel individually called towards, that's enough to be of service to the greater collective experience. Because the more that we follow what we uniquely are here to do, what feels good to us, what we love, what we feel called to do, that is where the real magic comes in. That's where we get to step up into the power of the Queen of Wands, but it's also where we really find where we fit. That's where we get to capitalize on our uniqueness. And it doesn't always have to be capitalize, meaning that we have to hold it ransom for money. It means that we get to spiritually engage that with our life experience. We get to be able to utilize who we are, what we want to bring, in a way that then allows us to get back something from our experience that is equally fulfilling. It's in equal alignment or equal value to what we put in. So think about it like that, Taurus. Okay, so now I'm going to pull real quickly, because we're kind of getting a little long on this reading. I'm going to pull just a couple additional cards here, and then we'll pull one final card for your final message for the reading. So Healer of the Ages. Let's see an additional. We have, I love it, Vulture Spirit, nothing is wasted, number 63, breaking down to a 9, the number of the closing of a cycle, reevaluating lessons learned and pulling those into the next cycle. So this is really, I think, wonderful to think about when we are thinking about having to, kind of leave something behind. That sometimes we sit there and we say, well, I can't leave this. I put so much time and energy into it, or I worked so long in this industry, or I saved for this. And it's saying nothing's wasted. That was all to get you to this point. You now have a new skill set that you can fall back on, or you now have the realization of what you can save and how much you can save. There's something here around, I think, that's really where the healing's coming in, is understanding your own power, of understanding that it's not about what you didn't accomplish to this point. It's about what you've learned about yourself that's going to allow you to accomplish what you wanted, but in a very different way at this point, in a way that's more in alignment with the legacy you want to leave. Okay, I'm going to pull one for here. Oh, I love it. Butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. Yeah, it is. But it can also be really scary and difficult. You know, when we go from being the caterpillar to the butterfly, we're now a different creature. You know, this is in alignment with the Judgment card coming in here. You know, suddenly we have different colors. Suddenly we can fly. And sometimes that can even be difficult to the people who are closest to you, that they're like, but you've always crawled on the ground. You've always only eaten, you know, leaves. You've always only done this, you know, you've only lived here. And suddenly now you're like, yeah, but I can fly. So I want to go over there now, you know, or I really want to taste the sweet nectar of a flower instead of eating a plant. And it can be not only jarring to ourselves because we have grown spiritually and we now have a different perception and perspective on our life experience, but we also want more. We want things that are different in our experience because we are different. So keep that in mind, you know, when you are sitting here wondering, why are you being called to something to do X, Y, and Z? It's to look at, well, where have I grown? How am I different from who I was even 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even just 6 months ago? And how do I need to align myself with who I am today? Okay, and one last card here. Giraffe spirit, see the big picture, number 29, breaking down to master number 11, the doorway between what is and what can be when we have faith to co-create with spirit. I love that. So yeah, see the bigger picture for what you feel you want to work towards now. What is that big picture? Is that big picture building the community center so that everybody can have a place to congregate and you're fostering a sense of true community? Or is this seeing the bigger picture that, you know, you're going to double down on this new job opportunity because suddenly you realize, wow, this job offers the possibility of travel. It offers the possibility of a lifestyle I never thought I would have. And I want to see where this goes. Or is it, I've met the love of my life, and even though I've been focused on one aspect of my life, maybe I need to see where the love of my life and in following that is going to take me. What's the bigger picture? What do I want for myself? Do I want a life of adventure? Do I want to have a life of working with people and connecting them? Do I want to show people something about my spiritual experience that I know is important to me and can be important to other people? It's leveling up. And that's what's going to give you the faith to realign your life here, Taurus. Okay, we're going to pull a final card here for the concept of basically looking at what your overarching spiritual lesson is for the month of August. So what does Taurus need to know about what they're learning about themselves this month on a spiritual level? Where is this spiritual growth really taking place? And I'll read the full excerpt from the book for whatever card comes out. Oh, I love it. Of course I would say this. It says, trust in the plan, number 13. And the number 13 in the tarot really harnesses the energy of death and transformation. It's a scorpionic energy, but it's death and transformation, and it reduces to the number 4, which is building a new, stronger foundation. So I really like that. So for many of you this month, it's about kind of, I think, almost like wiping the slate clean on those expectations and really opening your eyes up to your current life experience and saying, where are the resources I've been not willing and wanting to see that I have to start investing in what I want to build? And if they look a little different than what I expected, that's okay. I just got to keep my eye on the prize and trust that this is what's meant to be. It says, in preparation for radical growth, there can be temporary disorder and chaos. While the mind may worry that something is going wrong, the spirit knows that this is a way for the old to disassemble so the new can be formed. Although you may feel out of control during such times, you do not need to resist the process. There is no need to attempt to impose your own sense of order upon the greater plan. You do not need to seek solutions, for there is no problem here in need of solving. What has been is being cleared away in preparation for the next chapter in your life. Have faith, all is well. Do not fear. You may see the life you have known appears to be ending. You may find that the things you used to do or the way you used to think no longer seem as relevant as they once were. You may feel your relationships and friendships are changing. Some may even be ending. Perhaps you find you no longer have the energy or motivation to keep certain relationships going in your life. However, your energy is meant to be withdrawing from what it once supported. This is not an abandonment or betrayal. It is not selfish. It is honest. When you trust in your spiritual growth, all that happens is love. That means that even an apparent loss always serves love, whether that is immediately obvious or not. It is sometimes necessary for both parties to become free to live their true destiny. Life is a loving, creative journey for the soul. That means there will be times when the very thing you have worked towards needs to crumble, so that the next evolution of your soul manifestation upon the earth can take place. It is natural, and although it can be challenging to trust in a greater creative process during times when it seems as though there is only chaos and confusion, you are strong enough spiritually to do so. To feel peace during such times, you must trust in your own inner knowing over what appears to be. You are divinely scheduled to evolve at this point in your life. Can you sense an exciting growth phase happening for you? There is another way for you to live, to be, to thrive and love in this world, and you are rapidly heading towards it. This is a time to surrender control and allow a higher power to direct your course. Many exciting new opportunities, situations, and connections will come into your life as a result of what you are experiencing now. It is all part of a greater divine intelligence unfolding in loving service to your own sacred life path. Have faith and stay true to your spiritual principles. Trust in an unfolding higher plan. Know that all changes in your life serve your higher good. The universe knows what you need and is in the process of delivering it to you now. All is happening for a greater purpose. You can flow with the changes in loving trust. Your perfect time for resurrection will follow this deconstruction, and it will occur in the perfect way. I love that, Taurus. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I hope I sort of did in this reading. So I hope you take that away this month and lean into the trust that's coming, that what is coming for you is meant to help build and create the experience your heart wishes to have happen. And if you, all of you, or any of you would like to visit my website to book a reading or to just learn more about me and the services I offer, you can click on the link in the description box below. Otherwise, Taurus, I look forward to reading for you all again in September, and I wish you a true month of opportunity that comes when we simply surrender to what we love. Bye.